Hey guys, how's it going and welcome to another video. So this is going to be the first video of my prep series. So I'm going to be starting with a Q&A. So I asked you guys to ask me some questions on my Instagram stories. So I did this twice. I have two big sets of questions I'm going to respond to right now regarding my prep. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. So first question is, why did you decide to compete? Well, for a number of reasons. Like obviously it's not just because I want to look a certain way, because the way you look like on competition or like show day is not sustainable and it's not healthy and it's not really a look that I'm after in the long run anyway. It's more so the journey to the stage. I want to test myself. I want to prove to myself that I have the discipline to do this, because it requires so much discipline to train like a bodybuilder, eat like a bodybuilder, get really lean to really achieve that conditioning. And I find that like when you can cultivate discipline in like that area of your life, it kind of spills over into other areas of your life as well. And it's honestly just fun. Like I just, I think it's fun. And I do want to push myself at one step further in my fitness journey. And not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to wearing a sparkly bikini. So yeah, that is why I have decided that I want to compete. How did you choose your coach and who is your coach? So my coach is Paul Revelia from ProPhysique.com. I have been following Paul for like 3 or 4 years now. Basically, I had been following so many IFBB pros and just other bikini competitors on Instagram for ages, and like I noticed a lot of the time when I would check who these girls were coached by, a lot of the time it was by Paul, and I was like, oh my god, so like this guy is legit. So that's kind of how I found him, through a bunch of girls on Instagram. And also one of his clients, she is an IFBB pro. Her name is Natalie Matthews. She's a vegan bikini bodybuilder and she's an IFBB pro. She looks amazing and her like YouTube is amazing, and she makes like the best high protein vegan recipes as well. And I was like, wow, like through his flexible dieting approach, she coached this girl and she became a pro, and she's such an inspiration for me because she like is proof that veganism works even if you want to be a bodybuilder. So yeah, and also like his YouTube channel is amazing. He uploads like really frequently about different topics that have to do with fitness, nutrition, and he goes into like detail. He does a lot of case studies on his YouTube as well, which is really interesting. And he's also like, he's a big advocate of flexible dieting, which I love as well, because I feel like when you restrict yourself to just like a meal plan or certain foods that you can and can't have, it can really mess with your head, especially for me because I do have a past of like disordered eating. So I really did want a coach that would give me a more macro-based approach, which is what I have right now. And overall, I just think that Paul he's a great mentor as well. That's what people have been saying about him. I've read like so many testimonials, and I just felt like from all the consults I did do, he was the one that kind of paid the most attention to me and my goals. And we actually did 2 free phone calls before I signed up, and he's very on point with like the check-ins. I send him a check-in once a week and he like replies on the same day with a video, and I feel very comfortable being honest and open with him and telling everything that's on my mind. So yeah, that is how I chose my coach and why I chose my coach. Next question, what show are you doing? So I am going to be doing, hopefully it doesn't get cancelled, fingers crossed, the Ben Wider International show. So it's like in London on the 3rd and 4th of October. So I'm currently 14.5 weeks out, and it's an IFBB show, and like the name of the organizers here in the UK is called Two Bros Pro. How have you been feeling mentally during the prep? So I started my prep officially just like a couple days ago, because before this I was prepping for a photo shoot, and then after that photo shoot I had a free meal, and now I'm officially like on track for good, no more free meals. Honestly, I'm feeling good. My food is in a very good place. I don't do any like formal cardio. I just hit my step target every day, which is about 17,000 steps on average, and I'm feeling good. I am enjoying my workouts at home. I have energy. I'm surrounded by an amazing group of friends, and I'm just feeling good mentally right now. I feel like it is gonna get tough the closer I get to the show, but I'm super grateful that I have my best friend Chen Yang that is prepping with me, so we keep each other motivated and accountable, and if we ever need to talk about something, we always talk to each other. And yeah, why didn't you opt for a powerlifting comp? Well, powerlifting and bodybuilding are very different. like bodybuilding, yeah, it's a lot more like vain, I guess, but the things with powerlifting is like, sure, I love to squat, I love to deadlift, I love to bench press, but I don't want to be doing those 3 movements like 2 to 3 times or even 4 times a week. That's a lot. I do like training for strength only on those 3 movements, but I feel like with powerlifting, all the accessory exercises are not very bodybuildery. Like, I like training like a bodybuilder, I like getting a pump, I like being lean, I like focusing on the aesthetic. Yeah, that makes me vain, then it makes me vain, but honestly, like, if I wasn't on prep, the only exercises where I'd be doing like less than 8 reps would be the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. Everything else, I love doing time under tension and like supersets, and I love training like a bodybuilder, and I don't want to compete in powerlifting. I don't know, it doesn't really speak to me the same way that bodybuilding does. And honestly, I think that training for bodybuilding is a lot harder. Like, I get it, when you're a powerlifter, it's like, look how much weight I can lift, but you're only training RPE 8 or 9 all the time, or like even 7. I like training to failure, I like training hard, and I find that a set of 20 to 25 reps is so much harder than like a set of 5. You know, like, it's hard. For me, I think it's harder to keep going with a lighter load for longer than to just do a heavy load and rep it out for like 3 or 4 reps just to look. That's just my opinion, of course. Our next question is sodium loading / depleting and getting dry. So this is like kind of a peak week strategy that I think enhanced competitors use, because when you take steroids, you have to like manipulate sodium and water a lot more than natural lifters, just because different PEDs can make you retain water in different ways. Like, for my photo shoot, for example, the only variable that I manipulated was my carbohydrate intake. So I cut my carbs, then I loaded my carbs like a day out from the shoot, and that worked pretty well for me. And water, all I did was like cut out water like 12 hours before the shoot. And yeah, that was basically it. So I don't think sodium loading and like manipulating sodium is that beneficial if you're a natural lifter. Where to start researching about competing? Well, first, I guess you want to decide on which category you want to do. So there's like bikini, there's figure, there's a newer one called wellness as well, and then there's like bodybuilding for girls, and then for guys there's like men's physique, classic, and bodybuilding. And then I think depending on like which federation you do, there's like other categories, but this is like IFBB we're talking about. So yeah, decide on like which look you like best, and also it has to do with like your specific like structure, like the way you've been built. So for me personally, I have quite a small frame, and I think bikini would suit me best. So yeah, decide on which category you want to compete in, and then you have to find a coach and a show. Sometimes if you're unsure which show to pick, your coach can help you. To find a coach, you want to just like look at the girls or guys, if you're a guy watching, that are getting the results that you want. People that are placing in shows, that are doing well in shows, and people that like when they document their journey, they're actually having a good time on prep. And that's what I did. I saw all these girls, they were winning their pro cards, and I would watch their like prep vlog series on YouTube, and they were actually like, you know, pretty positive, and they spoke very highly about their coach, and that's how I found Paul. So take your time. It took me a lot of time to find my coach. Instagram is great, YouTube is great, so I would like look up like prep series, prep vlog, show day vlog, things like that. And on Instagram you can find so many girls that like compete, and just kind of follow their journey and just see who you like best. And I'd also recommend doing at least like 5 or 6 phone consults, different potential coaches. If they ask you to pay them before the consult, I think that's a red flag. Don't do it. I always want to speak to the coach on the phone first for free, because they're not really giving you that much for free. They're just giving you a bit of time to see where you're at and whether or not your goals are feasible. And they're just trying to get to know you, but they're not actually giving you any information on what you need to be doing, if that makes sense. So obviously the consult needs to be free, and I think it's important to get that consult before you actually sign up, because that's how you know whether or not you and the coach are going to be a good fit for each other. So that is what I would recommend. Most of the time I'd say try and pick a coach in your area. I picked my coach even though he's not in my area, because I didn't like any of the coaches in my area, if I'm honest, and I just really wanted to work with Paul. And obviously the time difference, he's 5 hours behind, he's in the States, I'm in the UK, but because with our check-ins he does like a video response, it's fine, and it's been working out really well. Okay, next question. I know competing isn't the cheapest thing to do. Was hiring a coach really expensive? So obviously different coaches charge different prices, and I can't really disclose prices of like what my coach charges because it's like confidential, and also there's different packages you can choose from, but I'm gonna give you guys some ranges. So here's what I typically found. I found that in the UK, coaches are a lot cheaper than in the US. It's just a trend that I noticed. And then a lot of coaches in the US charge exorbitant amounts, and I did not go for those coaches because I do have a budget, although I do think it's important to be able to invest in a coach. Obviously, like, if you can afford it, do it. If you can't afford it, then like, you know, it's like, that's why you need to be financially stable if you want to compete, and I made sure I had all my expenses in order before I hired a coach. It's not super expensive, and the thing is, sometimes when you pay more up front, it ends up being cheaper than like doing a monthly payment thing. But yeah, it is an investment, that's what I will say. I'll give you guys averages for what I found. In the UK, on average, coaches will charge about £100 per month, sometimes 120. In the States, anywhere between $200 to $400 a month. So that's what I'm gonna say. Yeah. What calorie intake will you be on during prep? So obviously this is gonna be like not the same throughout prep, and I'm not gonna disclose my calories with you guys because I don't want anyone to think that they need to copy my calories, and it's not gonna give you guys any value, and also because they can get quite low throughout prep and I don't want to trigger anyone. But for now, my calories are still okay for me. They're not like super high, but you know, they're high enough, and I have energy and I'm feeling good, and we're only gonna be making changes if my weight loss stalls. So if my coach feels like I need to drop my macros, and I'll drop my macros. What color is your hair gonna be? I'm not gonna dye my hair. I'm gonna keep it this color. I'm gonna probably like get it done, obviously, like make it look nicer than my natural curls, but I'm not gonna dye it. I'm gonna keep it dark brown. What color is your bikini gonna be? So I tried on a few colors the other week when I went to see some bikinis with Chen Yang, and I was about to reveal the color, and then she was like, no dude, keep it a secret, and I'm like, you're right. So you guys will find out on show day what color my bikini is gonna be. What's the first thing you'll eat after your comp? Probably a dessert. I want to say ice cream, but that's annoying to like carry around, you know, backstage. I wish it could be ice cream, but it's probably gonna be either a cookie or a donut, one of the two. A cookie or a donut. Vegan, of course, because I'm vegan. What motivated you to do a competition? Well, I kind of like talked about this already, but another thing that I forgot to mention was the fact that I am not getting deported from the UK. I got accepted for a master's degree at UCL, means I can stay here on a student visa. So that's when I was like, okay, since I'm set to like stay here and not have to go back home, I can compete here in the UK. So that was like the main like, okay, now I can sign up. And now I can like officially announce to the world that I'm going to be prepping for a competition. Have you made any changes to your training yet? Frequency, rest days, intensity, etc. So I went from training 6 days a week, now I have 5 days a week on my program, and also like I was doing a lot more like a higher frequency program, but now I'm only training every body part twice a week. So the first program my coach gave me is a 6-week like training block where I'm training legs twice a week, and then I have a push day, a pull day, and an upper body day. So my leg days, all of the days, are so high volume. So the volume has gone like whoosh, because before this I was training like super low volume, higher intensity, and like only 4 to 5 exercises per workout, and now it's like literally 8 or 9 exercises per workout, and like the reps are like really high and the sets are really high, and honestly I really do like it. I'm really sore these days because it's like a completely different stimulus to what I've been doing before. My coach prescribed to me lower RPE, so I'm trying to not go to complete failure, but it's hard because I'm like training hard. But yeah, so my training has changed a lot because we really want to put on a lot of mass on me, so I guess that's why he's like emphasizing a lot more volume and higher reps for some more time under tension. So yeah, I saw that a lot of females get fake boobs to compete. What's your view on that? Well, I already kind of talked about this in a previous video, and yes, it's true that like because when they judge bikini, they judge your whole like package. It's not just your like, you know, muscularity and conditioning. It's also like your makeup, your hair, your boobs, because boobs are like, you know, meant to be feminine or whatever. I'm not gonna get implants to compete. I mean, I'm not going to the Olympia or anything. I'm just competing in my first show. I'm getting padding though in my bikini. Like when I went and tried it on, and the girl that makes them, like she added like some extra padding, and I was like, wow, this is a game changer. I look like I have boobs. So I think that like, you know, if you're competing at a super high level and you feel like it would benefit you, then cool, do it. I don't judge anyone for their choices. I just think that like if you're doing it for anyone else other than yourself, that's a problem. And if you're not not happy with yourself the way you are, and you feel like you need that like physical change in order to like really be happy with who you are, that is problematic. But then again, no judgment, like you do what you want. I can't tell anyone what to do, but personally, not for me. Like I don't really want implants, even though my small boobs are an insecurity. I have done a lot of work on myself and I'm very content with where I am right now, and I do not plan on getting implants anytime soon. Do you earn money for competing? Lol, I wish. I know. I think like when you're at a super high level, like when you're a pro and you place top 5 or top 3, I'm not sure, depends on the show, but sometimes you can win like I think $1,000 or $2,000 like prize money, but for the most part, no, you don't make any money out of competing. Like maybe indirectly, like if you start competing and some brands really like you because you're kind of like out there a bit more in the fitness industry, you can get like sponsorships and stuff, but you don't directly like win money for competing. On the contrary, it's expensive to compete because you have to pay for a coach, for your tan, bikini, makeup, hair, supplements, you know, and like etc, etc. So yeah. Once you said you don't think you'd compete, at least not soon, what made you change your mind? I changed my mind because drop my phone. Okay, I changed my mind because I'm at like a place right now with my body where like I know that I don't define my self-worth based on like how lean I am, and I'm in a lot better, like a much better place mentally than I was a year ago or 2 years ago. And also I just feel like I'm surrounding myself with a much better group of people. Like I've managed to cut out some toxic people out of my life, or even if they weren't toxic, we just weren't on the same wavelength and we just kind of drifted apart, and that's fine. I have no hard feelings against anyone because they've been my friends for a long time, and I know that if we ever like do meet up again in the future, we can still be friends and still talk. It's just more like now I'm hanging out with people that are more in my like industry and like interests and hobbies, and I have a better support system and I can talk about things more with people, and I just feel like really happy with my life and content with my life and with myself, that I just feel like I'm ready mentally to do it. So that's why I changed my mind and I'm doing it. Alright guys, so that's all the questions I got about competing. If you guys have any other questions, please drop them down below. I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. Let me know what other videos you want to see regarding my prep. If you have any other questions regarding my prep, if you liked the video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos on my prep series, but also other videos that have to do with health and fitness in general. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!